So today I want to talk about something very positive because I know my videos can get kind of dark and negative and I try to avoid it at all costs, but the problem is I'm a pessimist. So today I want to talk about the positive that's come from the last 15 going on 16 years. Next month is my 16th anniversary of my marriage. And I'm going to talk about the positive, the positive parts of my marriage after 16 years. And, you know, this is all due to God and His glory, is the sanctification of my husband. When we first got together, we eloped in a non-denominational church. I had beef with the state asking for money to give me a certificate with a Illuminati symbolism. It was 2008, and I had ideas about conspiracies. So I didn't want to pay the government to bless my marriage. So I said no to that. And we went to a non-denominational church with a pastor that I knew personally, and he blessed our marriage, and that's how that went down. Anyhow, a few years ago, we were legally married because, at some point I realized none of this makes sense anymore. Let's just be legally married. And the good part of what's come from this marriage is the sanctification of my husband. My husband and my saint. We have a child together. She's 14, and she literally has the middle name Saint. Her middle name is Saint. And I know that does not mean perfection. It means a walling out human being who knows that they fall short of the glory of God, and that they're human and they're prone to error and they need Jesus Christ. That's what sainthood is. It's not this glorified, idled being who looks beautiful at all times, who's sitting and standing in corners holding Bibles. That's not what a saint is. Anyhow, we gave birth to a saint about almost 2 years after we got together, a year and a half or so. And this is after we were promised by the doctors that we wouldn't be able to. And this whole time, throughout our marriage, he did not know Jesus Christ as Lord. He went on and off about it. He felt very conflicted about it. And so I believe in this verse. I really did. I would meditate upon this, about how through me, not me, and it's not like there's a sacrifice that I've done that was acceptable to God that would justify the entrance of my husband into heaven. Nothing like this. It's, if you are going through the sanctification process, usually it rubs off on the other person. And, your children are ceremonially clean, meaning the children that come from your marriage. Despite the fact that maybe, there's some strict rules. I mean, now, you got some communities that only stick to their own kind because of the fact they want their children to be, pure and clean. And I get it. So this is the Bible saying, hey, that burden is not yours. If you're a saint, through the process of marriage, which I believe I have suffered more of a sanding off of the rough edges in my marriage due to my anger issues, that is gone. I mean, it comes up every so often, but if I'm tired enough and I'm fed up enough, it comes up, but it's gone. Okay, Jesus is great for this. So I glorify God, not because of my strength, but of God's strength. And my husband is professing Christian, and even though we're at a distance at the moment where he is, he continues to go to church and he does the best he can, and it's between him and God. But what I can say is, what this video is about if you have an unbelieving spouse, that simply through the daily acts of self-sacrifice, meaning, and that's especially if you're a Catholic, you're all about that suffering. All right. The suffering is a Catholic's jam. We love to suffer. That's our favorite. So we have some idea about it being a crown or something. So despite what you're going through in your marriage, just know that if you're doing it and giving it and dedicating it to Christ, having a husband who's making you answer to, which my husband would do this, he'd make me answer to my profession of faith. But am I a stronger Christian for it? 100%. 100% I am. It's why I dedicated myself to theology, is because I needed to understand and master. And it did ask real honest questions, like why I believed what I believed. And it's really a lot harsher if it's coming from somebody outside of you, especially somebody you really care about. Anyhow, the message I'm hoping that's getting across in this video is that if you are in a marriage that's, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is, just know that Jesus is with you and that he loves you, and that all you got to do is embrace the suffering, and which, you know, I think I'm almost perfecting after 16 years. And pray for my marriage, pray for my family, and for guidance, you know. And again, I'm just keeping it positive. This is the positive edge to a complicated thing. Just keep that sanctification process going, and I really do believe it will rub off on your spouse eventually. And I know from experience, I know from personal experience, it absolutely rubs off on your spouse, 100%. And I think that's a win. I'm going to put that as a feather in my hat. In Jesus' name, I'm going to boast in the Lord that my spouse is sanctified. Regardless of the future, regardless of whatever happens, he's 100% a saint, meaning he's giving his troubles and cares to God, from what I gather, from what he tells me. And that's the positive. That's what I'm trying to keep positive, and I know sometimes it's not so deep because it's not an authentic me. I'm a little bit more negative. So there you go. Jesus is king. That's a positive thing there, and may God be with you.